Talking bot. Ho ho ho. Predators is a 2010 film written and produced by Robert Rodriguez and directed by a guy called Nimrod. It's an attempt to get the Predator franchise back on its feet after the dismal crossover sellouts that were AVP 1 and 2. So it kicks right off with that stupid guy from the Village movie. Free falling. He works out that he is wearing a parachute and manages to pull the chute and land. Here, he meets Machete, and a dead dude who didn't pull his chute, and then a Russian Spetsnaz, a female sniper, a convict, and a militia fighter, and a dude claiming to be a doctor. These lot look like a ragtag bunch of freedom fighters. They remind me of something. Oh yeah, that game I used to play. Anyway, they next find a Japanese gangster skulking around the woods, and take him with them. They believe they are stuck somewhere on Earth.
That is really, really poisonous. Wouldn't take more than one scratch, cause total paralysis.
Maybe the Amazon. But they begin to sense something is up.
Well, between that and the sun, I'd say we have a real problem.
What about the sun?
Hasn't moved since we got here.
Later on, they come across a bunch of crates, which have also been parachuted in. They carry on and string a load of really inventive jungle traps, sharpened sticks, flying logs, and a pit of death. Say all of this gives me Deja Vu. I wonder. Anyway, all of the traps were set to protect an extremely dead soldier who was hunting something big.
Bigger.
Very big. Next. Bully senses something in the trees, watching them. Sorry, I mean the militia dude senses something, watching them in the trees. Finally, they realize they are on an alien world. Quite how they didn't see the giant planets hanging in the sky before now defeats me. Oh right, they are CGI and have only appeared once. Here. Back on the trail again. And cannon fodder sense something coming at them. A big pack of rasta dogs with dreadlocks. Time to waste all of that limited ammo. I feel sorry for the doctor dude. Nobody gives him a gun, and when a dog gets on his trail he runs for his life. What's he supposed to use?
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
So having killed all of the rasta dogs, they regroup and reload. Village Idiot gives them some more insight about what's going on.
Excuse me, I'm just what the hell is going on here?
The cages, the soldier, all of us. We're all brought here for the same purpose. This planet is a game preserve. And we're the game. In case you didn't notice, we just got flushed out. They sent the dogs in, just like you would if you were stalking boar, shooting quail. They split us apart, and they watched, testing us.
How do you know this?
Because that's what I would do.
They then notice that Machete is missing and go look for him, finding him taking a nap in a field, looking very dead. But he's calling out to them for help. Village Idiot senses it is a trap and decides to leave him. And it turns out they were right too, as a predator was using the body to trick them and by imitating Machete's voice. Next they get the idea to follow the dog tracks back to source to see if they can spot their elusive aggressors. Cannon fodder get to the predator camp. And it looks like Leatherface's garden. There are dead bodies and skulls everywhere. Is that an alien? No one's home to greet them, except a predator tied to a pillar. Whilst they are standing around gawping, Militia Man gets killed by a cloaked predator with its retractable blade, and a firefight ensues as the remaining survivors escape the camp. They slide down a hill into a lake. Just like Dutch did in the first Predator movie. The predators are after them though, using a flying drone to track their movements. They take refuge in a cave. where Sniper Lady has a bone to pick with Village Idiot for using them as bait. He elaborates.
We found out that there's more than one of them. That they use projectile and energy-based weapons. That they have some sort of cloaking device. That they're bigger than us. Stronger. But also heavier.
This guy is the only one so far who has had the brains to work out what is going on. Not bad for someone who used to get excited about red flowers growing in the wood. Sniper Lady finally admits that she knows more about the predators herself.
We don't have a name for them. 87 Guatemala. A spec ops team went into the jungle. High end. 6 men plus a CIA liaison. Only one made it out. In his debrief, he said they came in contact with something. He gave a detailed description. The thing on the totem. It wore some kind of camouflage that adjusted to ambient light. Made it nearly invisible in our spectrum. You could see in infrared heat signatures. He used mud to block his. That's how he beat it. It hunted and killed his team. One by one.
Then she had previously led on to, and tells them the tale of Dutch's squad, from the first movie. At this point I was thinking, how does she know all this? Is she in fact the girl from the first Predator movie? Having picked up arms following the incident in the first movie and becoming a crack sniper, and then plucked out of time to join cannon fodder on the Predator planet. It would have been a good tie-in. Better than all of the Homer Jackson scenes so far. But it's not that. She is an Israeli sniper and a different character altogether. But she does look an awful lot like the girl from the original. Coincidence or intended? Anyway, back to the action. And Village Idiot gets the doctor to run around to try and draw the predators in. He draws something in. But it's not a predator. It looks a lot like one of the prawn faces from District 9. Sniper Lady realizes that she didn't shoot it as her shot missed. But who did? They find out. It's that guy from The Matrix. Larry Fishbone. Fishbone leads cannon fodder to his hideaway lair, on an old space Hulk. He is a survivor of a hunt, and a scavenger, who has an imaginary friend, who he talks to. He has been ducking and diving the predators for the last 7 or 10 years, and he has killed 2 or 3 predators. He can't remember. Although quite what he has been eating in those 7 or 10 years, to keep his ample frame packed out, is anyone's guess. Those predator carcasses must have a lot of calories in them. Meanwhile, the Japanese gangster finds an ancient samurai sword. Larry tells them they can't escape the gaming preserve. It just goes on forever. But he does tell them about the predator ship, which is hidden near the predator camp. Then gives away an seemingly not used bit of info, which will no doubt come in handy later on.
Anyway, there's 2 different types of them out there. Now, they're similar, but they're different. It's kind of like the difference between dogs and wolves. The ones that are running things up there, the larger ones hunt the smaller ones. It's some kind of blood feud, I guess, been going on for a long time.
They all bed down for the night, but they have been tricked by Fishbone, who locks them in an attempt to asphyxiate them with smoke from a fire. Because he wants their stuff. Makes sense, really. He is a scavenger. Village Idiot fires a grenade at the wall, not to blow a hole in the wall, but to signal to the predators where they are, who get the message and turn up for the party, blowing Fishbone a new asshole. Cannon fodder escape the room, but in the confusion the doctor gets lost, so the Spetsnaz comes back to rescue him and gets mortally wounded. Takes the predator out with a grenade, killing them both. 1 down. 2 more predators to go. The prisoner gets it next outside with a laser blast. I mean, this guy just talked about raping bitches the whole time, so it was easier to just kill him off. In a scene reminiscent of the original Predator when Bully gets his spine ripped out. The Predator rips the prisoner's spine out, while he is still alive. Next, Japanese gangster decides to give that samurai sword an airing by offering to stay back and fight the Predator. It ends with them both killed. 2 down and 1 Predator to go. The doctor then stands in a trap, wounding himself. Sniper Girl wants to take him with him, but Village Idiot tells her to leave him for dead as a diversion. When she refuses, he buggers off and leaves them to it. Sniper Girl attempts to help Doc, but they wind up caught in a trap by falling into a pit. Village Idiot gets back to the Predator camp and has this elaborate plan to release the smaller Predator chained up in the camp and get it to pilot the Predator ship back to Earth. His reasoning for this potentially suicidal move? Because Larry told them about the feud between the bigger and smaller Predators. So Village Idiot thinks the smaller Predator will help him rather than separate his spine and skull from his body. That sounds like the plan of a madman.
I'll cut you down. You take me to the ship. The ship. You understand me, don't you?
He pays off somehow, and the small Predator programs the ship to return to Earth. Village Idiot makes the ship just as it is taking off. The last big Predator returns and they have a Predator rumble around the camp, ending in the smaller Predator getting dispatched. The big Predator then detonates the ship. Meanwhile, Doc has had a change of heart and temporarily paralyzes Sniper Girl with some sap from a plant he found earlier. So Doc is in fact the psycho, and I thought he was just a mild-mannered doctor, brought to the Predator planet to act as medic for the others. Idiot turns up and helps them both out. He says he had a change of heart, but I reckon the real reason he came back was because the ship was actually programmed to head to Naboo and he hates Gungans. Anyway, Doc tries to kill him, but Idiot wises up and sticks him with his own paralyzing scalpel. It's now time for an impromptu A-team setup as Idiot sets the camp on fire to confuse the Predator. The Predator finds Doc and turns him over, only to find he is wired with grenades. Now the laziest part of the movie. In a scene ripped off from the original Predator, Idiot, with his shirt off and abs rippling, employs hit-and-run tactics against the Predator while it is disorientated, giving it a whack and then running to hide behind the fires. It's just not as well done as in the original. Sniper Girl manages to get her movement back and shoots the Predator. An Idiot finishes it off with its own blade. With a morning, they look to the sky and see more parachutes and crates being dropped in. Time to start moving. What's good about Predators? It re-energizes the Predator franchise by being better than Part 2 and both the AVPs, even though there is a small appearance of something which looks like an alien in the Predator camp. It is kept exclusively as a Predator movie. We don't need any more sellout crossovers. Being this is a game reserve though, it might not last. It gets straight down to business before the opening titles and doesn't let up till the end. The Predators are put back where they work the best, on the periphery of the action. The unseen bogeymen who control the chess pieces, which leaves the human stuck in the middle to provide the drama. It helps build the tension. The forest itself becomes the enemy as well. The Predators have some cool new tech, some things we haven't seen before, including flying drones. Talking of things we haven't seen before, outside of the comic, a Predator fights a Predator. See also What's Bad. I wasn't too bothered about Adrian Brody's character race, but I did find myself rooting for the Russian Spetsnaz dude, who came across well in this film.
Some damn fool accused you of being the best.
What's bad about Predators? Part of what makes Predators work is also what ultimately detracts from it. It works because it pretty much rehashes all of the best bits from the first Predator movie, unapologetically. The action scenes are almost carbon copies of the original. The characters are basically just Dutch's squad from the first one, taken apart and reassembled slightly different, just like Think Prequel or Alien Resurrection. There are a lot of bit part characters lining up to get killed beautifully. That is why I was jokingly referring to them as cannon fodder, because they are just here to get killed in various inventive ways. And in a 1 hour 42 movie we don't have time to get to know them all individually. But if we did, we might root for them a bit more. The answer is to take a leaf out of the book of the original George Romero Dawn of the Dead. Have fewer characters, but flesh their backstory out more. Then not only will we root for them instead of the baddies, we will also get involved emotionally when they die. Even the music is exactly the same.
Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He claimed me as the music, but he had a lot of fun. Oh, baby. Yeah, baby.
Predator fighting Predator. I said before this was good, simply because it's something we haven't seen before in a movie. It's also pure obvious fanboy porn. There's also some dumb bits in it. Like, how couldn't they see the huge planets hanging in the sky until they were standing on a hill?
Yep. Archifructus leonogensis. Wouldn't take more than one scratch, cause total paralysis.
Why does the alien planet have Earth variety of plants on it? Or was this just so the doctor could get his rape scalpel prepped? Why did Isabel know so much about the 1987 encounter? Was it part of Israeli basic training? What was that beastie chasing Doc? And if this is a game preserve of different species, where are they all? How has Larry Fishbone managed to stay fat despite eking out an existence as a scavenger for the last 10 years? Why did Royce think the smaller predator would agree to fly him home if he freed it?
Real nasty habit you got there.
The hero, the main character of Royce, will just never be Arnie, as much as we want him to be. He looks impressive with his shirt off. Just not Arnie impressive. The main problem with Royce is he is a loner, and he keeps his distance from the rest of the group for the whole movie. He tells the rest he doesn't need them. In a survival situation, that is fair enough. But in a movie where we are supposed to root for the humans and not the Predator, this just makes him kind of unlikable. Take Arnie in Predator as Dutch. He was rough around the edges, a bit of a joker, but he cared for his squad, and we felt sorry for him when they all got killed and he was left on his own to face the Predator, so we rooted for him. Adrian Brody is a good dramatic actor. But an action hero? He sounds like he is putting on a deeper voice to sound tougher, but it just doesn't sound right and is a bit distracting.
Oh, between that and the sun, I'd say we have a real problem. I'm Batman.
A bit like Batman. He doesn't come across that believable in the role. I can't buy him as a dehumanized soldier of fortune. But it's not all his fault. Simply because at the end, the script makes him reenact the scene from the original. Bare-chested and running around the jungle, doing a hit and run on the Predator. It would work for Arnie or The Rock, but not Skinny Brody. I can buy that not every merc is a 600-pound muscle monster, because they are not and it would be impossible for them to function in a real-life situation. But they should be. In a movie like this, where they make them reenact all of Arnie's scenes.
Get to the chopper!
Too many homages. Another problem is, all of the action scenes feature homages to the original. Couldn't they have dispensed with a swinging log trap and gone for something different? The escape from the Predator camp ends in a slide down a hill and a drop into a lake. Just like the original, the final fight at the end is the same. The Spetsnaz dude has a minigun, like Bling. The militia dude is spiritual, like Bully. The prisoner is a bit of a moaning pussy, just like Poncho. The sniper girl looks like Anna. The music seems to have been lifted straight off of the Predator CD.
Knock, knock.
In summary, there's more good here than bad. And if you hated the sellout that was AVP and thought Predator 2 was too much comic book for its own good, then Predators might just restore your faith in an 8-foot-tall killing machine. It maybe gets too much credit, being it is basically a rehash of the first movie in a different location. But if the point of it was to restore the credibility of the Predator as an unseen stalker of men, rather than as a main character hunting aliens, then it succeeded, and left room for more sequels. though hopefully not featuring a green Brody. Turn around.